What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a second video here for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about the end of the Rebirth Reinforced event, the Black Ops Repercussions storyline-wise, and even more with the Easter egg. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and make sure you have notifications on to stay up to date with everything going on in Cold War Year 2, Modern Warfare 2, and any other future Call of Duty as well. Posted another video earlier this evening where we talked about some serious rumors and reports about not only Modern Warfare 2, but the future of the Call of Duty cycle as we know it, changing to a biannual release schedule, which would also mean 6-year gaps in between Call of Duty games from specific developers. We had some crazy reports to go over, as well as even the release window for Warzone 2. Hopefully you checked out that video, which is also linked down below in this one's description. But we have about a day and some change left of the Rebirth Reinforced event, and by now you can now do all challenges across the community set and even the participation set, as you guys can see on screen. Doing all 4 participation challenges will be unlocking the dinner plate blueprint for you guys, which you can use in Vanguard or even Warzone. It's probably one of the nicer looking free blueprints we've gotten from Call of Duty events over the past, 2 years-ish. And of course, by doing all the community challenges, which we all did, we now have access to new features such as the armored trucks, the single ping UAV system, a couple of other things, and of course, the 3 golden vaults around the map. And as you guys probably saw on stream the other day when I was going through some of these participation challenges, I think the way they were laid out was okay, but very dragged on and required you to play dozens and dozens of matches in most cases. The one to get 3 solo squad wipes, you can do that in one game if you just get to the final circle and kill people when the resurgence is off. That one's simple, but the one to trade 30 legendary weapons, I'm like, I get that they want you to use the new weapon trading systems, because I do like the machines around the map. They can give you some pretty good loot in exchange for whatever blueprint you got, but 30 legendaries, I mean, there's some RNG involved there, and what I learned was that you could trade legendary loadout weapons as long as they're from Vanguard. When you traded in legendary Cold War or Modern Warfare blueprints, it just did not track. Maybe that's a bug or that's intended, but you can find legendary blueprints all around Rebirth Island, and I think even the free Cold War legendary blueprints that you can find laying around randomly at the beginning of a match, those also count. But again, that was a bit tedious. When it comes to payload, I'm not a big fan of that mode altogether. I think when you play with the right team and the enemies aren't sweating too much, payload is okay. I respect what it's going for, but having to escort that truck for 20 minutes could take you quite some time if the enemies are sweating. And then the one for Plunder, which was asking you to gather a couple $1 billion. I mean, I believe you have to deposit all of that money as well, because when we didn't deposit it, it just wasn't tracking properly. So I'm not sure why the challenge doesn't just say deposit a couple $1 billion in some games of Plunder. I'm not sure why that was an issue, but again, are you really surprised that some of these challenges weren't tracking properly or weren't written correctly? I can't say I was surprised about that, but other than that, it wasn't too bad of an event in terms of what you had to do. But now the 3 golden vaults are accessible, and they're accessible through an Easter egg. It's relatively simple, so here's what you have to do. Number 1, make sure you have subtitles turned on. They're very important. And number 2, hop in Plunder, because if you go to Battle Royale and do this, I'm sure you guys could probably have that lucky game where you can manage to get it all done, but dealing with the storm, sweaty players, don't even bother. Just go on Plunder, and you'll thank me later. So you want to go to the cell block area of the map, which I know is often a hotspot, so please watch your 6, because I know things can get pretty crazy in this area. And you want to find 6 different TV remotes sitting on top of toilets. Now, you'll find these 6 remotes in 6 different cells around this area of the map. It's only in this area, whether it's downstairs or upstairs, nowhere else on Rebirth. Just this one spot, which makes things a hell of a lot easier. And every time you hit one remote control, a monitor will turn on. So in the center area of the cell block, you'll see an area where there's 6 monitors, and each time you turn on a remote, it'll activate one of the monitors. That's your indicator that you actually activated it, and you have to find 6. Again, they're in different places in every single game that you play. The remotes will never be in the same cell blocks whenever you hop into a match of Rebirth, so keep that in mind. Now, once you get all 6, you'll hear a red phone ringing where those 6 monitors are. You want to answer the phone and make sure you have a notepad or good enough memory and keep track of the numbers that the person on the other end of the line ends up reading to you. It'll be an 8-digit code, which once again is different in every match that you play. I'm sure somebody out there will end up keeping track in a spreadsheet how many possible codes there are to open these bunkers. It might not be something where you can just force open the bunkers like you were able to do in some older Warzone Easter eggs back in the day, but the first code I got is 806-97324. And you'll see another code that I get, because I did this twice tonight. You'll see another code that I got which said 6777-2324. So I just had it written down right in front of me, and now what you want to do is go to one of the 3 golden vaults around the map. There's one in Stronghold, one in the factory, and one here by the water, as you'll see. I'll mark them all on the map, so you guys are fully aware, and the code that you got from the telephone will open any one of the 3 golden bunkers. And what's cool about this is once you visit one of them, you can just run over to the other ones that you may not have gone to yet and open that bunker with the same code. So you have an opportunity to go to 3 different golden vaults in a single match. But in terms of what's in these golden vaults, so from my understanding, based on other people's guides and tweets out there, you can get anything from specialist bonuses, the oversight perk showing you all of the upcoming circles in BR, loadout drops, legendary weapons, even miniguns, but not very much money. And maybe it's because we did this in Plunder, so there isn't too much good loot in some of these golden vaults. Some UAVs here and there, precision airstrike, nothing crazy. Whereas some of the old bunker Easter eggs from Verdansk would have a ton of money in them. And when you did that Easter egg on Plunder, it would almost guarantee you a win in that match. But the golden vaults here on Rebirth don't guarantee you really anything. Maybe I just had super bad luck and didn't get a single cool thing. But what I'm assuming, like I said, is that when you open these in Battle Royale, it'll have much better loot offered to you aside from doing this in Plunder. Maybe that's how it works, but let me know your experience down below in the comment section. Now, if you guys are wondering, is there a free blueprint in one of these bunkers? Unfortunately not, and I'm still confused as to what happened to that shield blueprint that was marketed on the Season 2 roadmap for Vanguard and Warzone. It was mentioned in a blog post somewhere. Maybe those should just be given to everybody for free once the Rebirth event does end in the next day and a half. Maybe that's how it'll go, or maybe it was meant for there to be a shield blueprint in one of these bunkers, allowing us to unlock it like that. Because this event for Rebirth Reinforced was quite different from some of the older ones, because on day 1 of this event, you weren't able to do all the challenges and unlock the blueprint, whereas in every other event before, you were able to grind everything in one day. So I do like the idea of them spreading things out a little bit and kind of time gating some of the challenges so that the event lasts a couple of weeks. I get that for the community challenges, but for the participation challenges, which you could do on solo, that's where I don't get it, right? That's where I think, oh, you should be able to do all of them in one day when the event starts, but time gate some of the other community challenges that unlock new features. That's what I'd agree with. But also in these golden vaults, in terms of the Black Ops Repercussions of this Easter egg, there is a map of Caldera in there. Maybe that's something that's going to tie into the conversations Butcher's having with Mason and his crew. Maybe that's something. There's also a letter from Kravchenko sitting in here, which to my understanding is a reuse asset and has been in Rebirth since the day Rebirth came out in Season 1 of Cold War last year. So that's not new. A bunch of other reuse assets, you know, telephones, a desk, nothing too extraordinary in here, which I'm kind of surprised about. I figured there would be something more in here that leads us to, you know, the future of this arc going on right now in 2022 Rebirth Island. We of course have that sticker people unlocked for getting 25 wins on this map during the duration of this event, and the sticker kind of hints at something to do with Dragovich, Steiner, and some more Nova 6, which may play a role or influence the events we see in the upcoming Modern Warfare sequel. But what I'll say is that this map taking place in 2022 wasn't a mistake, right? It's definitely for a reason we might not understand until the next season cinematic cutscene, because I'm sure they wouldn't do that for nothing. I mean, we had a story already going throughout World War II or post-World War II where Butcher's putting together task forces. Then you have the narrative in 1984 where Mason and his crew met the Butcher, and then they all of a sudden just fast forward to 2022, the Modern Warfare era, and show us what's going on in Rebirth in that time. So that was definitely intentional, and I'm curious what this is going to lead to at the end of the day. But also an update for you Black Ops fans out there. If you guys out there saw people with a hacked Ravenov bundle in-game and they were using it early, apparently the Ravenov bundle and all references to it were removed from Warzone. So you won't see the Ravenov icon under the operator selection. You won't see people running it in-game either. So I'm wondering, right, and it makes you think, if they put in extra work to remove Ravenov from Warzone instead of just releasing him in Black Ops Cold War, I'm wondering how long we'll have to wait till the official release of that pack. Right now, time of posting this, it's before April 15th, so the rumor right now is the Hudson pack's coming on April 15th. So after that, I mean, it's a big question mark. I'm assuming once Season 3 and that patch rolls out, we'll end up getting an updated bundle schedule from hackers out there who can probably find when Ravenov is coming, but figured I'd give you an update on that for those out there that may have seen Ravenov already running around in Caldera or even Rebirth. But back to the Easter egg now here on Rebirth Reinforced. This is the first big Easter egg, I guess you could say, since Rebirth's launch back during Season 1 of Cold War. That's crazy. That Easter egg during Season 1 of Cold War brought us the Red Room Milano blueprint, allowing you to unlock that one secret room, which was towards the center of the map by the HQ, and that was a cool Easter egg, but very, very, very tedious. I stress that so much because there was quite a bit that went into actually unlocking that one room alone, so I'm glad they toned down the difficulty a little bit for the Golden Vault Easter egg here. But aside from that, we also have the 3 key cards, which are Easter eggs in and of themselves, right? Because we have to go and pick each one of them up. The Perseus one, the Stitch one, the Forgotten one, and some of them are just laying around. Other ones you have to actually interact with something to get it. So you bring all those to the secret room over in the Stronghold, and there you go. You get another specialist bonus, the free loadout, or an advanced UAV. So I'm glad that now we have a couple of Easter eggs to go through here on Rebirth Reinforced. Can't complain about that, considering the missed opportunity with having a really mindfuckery type Black Ops numbers Easter egg on Verdansk 84. Surprised we didn't get that, even though Verdansk 84 wasn't live for that long before it got replaced by Caldera. At the very least, we had the red doors and those secret rooms you can go to with some badass loot, the free calling card you can unlock by taking a melee weapon to the graveyard and digging something. At least we have that on Verdansk, but I love covering these, right? Huge Blackout vibes that I get from covering little Easter eggs here on a Battle Royale. I enjoy making these videos. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching them as well. But the question is, what will the next Warzone Easter egg be? I'm assuming we'll get at least one over in Caldera. There are bunkers in Caldera, so I know it's getting repetitive at this point. Bunkers on Verdansk, Rebirth, and then in Caldera, but I'm sure that'll be opened up at some point for an event or a future quest that gets added before Modern Warfare 2 releases. But I'm definitely hoping that Warzone 2 brings forth at least one new Easter egg like this each season. I think that's totally doable for them to pull off, considering you have so many people out there working on Warzone, whether it's going to be Infinity Ward, Raven, Beanox, High Moon. They should be able to get at least one small quest as easy as this one here on Rebirth Reinforced every season for the next iteration of Warzone next year. That's what I would hope for. But the last thing I'll leave you guys with is RNG, right? I think I really like this Easter egg because all of the TV remotes are located in one single room. And I know you have to go through every single cell in the cell block to find them, but it's one area of the map, whereas previous Warzone Easter eggs, like the one we got in Rebirth during Season 1 of Cold War, you had to go from area to area around the map, and if you're not able to do that in Plunder, then you're just crossing your fingers a storm doesn't ruin your progress and prevent you from doing a step. On top of that too, the sweats, because yeah, you'll have lobbies like you'll see here in Plunder where we're doing this and within 5 minutes we're already in overtime. Like, come on dude, imagine sweating Plunder. So that's why Plunder's still the best place to do this, but there's flaws with that as well. There's pros and cons to doing this Easter egg regardless, but I think the pros in Plunder heavily outweigh the pros from doing this in a BR. But it's again also dependent on whether or not the loot is better from these Golden Vaults when you do it in Battle Royale instead of Plunder. That's what I don't know. But overall, when you're doing any type of Easter egg in a Battle Royale, it's always RNG based, whether it was the character quest in Blackout, relying on the RNG to find the items, and then having to rely on the Storm RNG, hoping that the enemies are playing a certain way to allow you to do the challenges. There's always RNG involved, but luckily with the Golden Vault one like we saw added in yesterday, I think it's totally a fair balance of, okay, how good are you as a player? Can you find these remotes and then just go to 3 areas around the map where the bunkers are, if you can get to them on time, and then get the loot from there. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the Golden Vault Easter eggs here in Rebirth Reinforced? What are you thinking about the Black Ops Repercussions going into Modern Warfare 2? And also, what are your thoughts on Battle Royale Easter eggs and RNG? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.